So this tutorial is just to kind of help you understand all the things that you can do with shape within Illustrator as you're working on your composition. So I just made a very basic shape with the pen tool. And a reminder, you can also work in the space that's in the gray. So I have my shape, and then I held down Option. So I get the duplicate and I duplicate that shape. I selected all of them. So I rubber band selected all of them and duplicated again, just so I'd have lots of opportunities to create different treatments to each shape. I always recommend the first thing to do is to change the line that describes the shape. And you can do that with the stroke. I don't want you to jump directly to the brushes first. I want you to play with stroke first. So the first thing you do is click on stroke. And I like to go to the line profile. And I'll increase the stroke just so that you can see. And let's zoom in. When I change the line profile, I immediately get a new treatment to the shape. And there's an area that's thin and an area that's thicker. To me, that's really exciting. And that's a simple way just to work with the shape itself. Then if I compound that, so say I take and I first change the line profile, I can then go in and open up the brushes window and select the library. And you can look under any of these. Try to avoid the arrows. Working with some of the ink. So then I can select a brush treatment to it. If I don't like it, I'm not going to continue to pick other ones. I'm going to do Command Z and take it away before I move forward. Oh, and then I have this one here. If I like it, I'll move on to the next one. I can try out some different brush strokes. I can even change, the value of the brush stroke if I wanted to. So you can go through and have really exciting changes to just the lines. Sometimes the scatter. Now, these ones are a little weirder. If you try to use that to describe your shape, I'm going to know it. And I'm like, maybe not. Circles might be interesting, but not necessarily appropriate. So like I said, Command Z, Command Z. They have different vector packs. And in yours, you probably have changes, even more brushes in your versions of it. And so I have all of these choices that I can make to describe my shape. And sometimes they can become, new shapes altogether. Let's go to Just Because. I don't so much mind if you use these, as long as you don't just let them stay. You can use them to describe shape. Once you have like a brush that you're interested in, also go up to Object Expand Appearances and Object Expand again until you're given the option to create Object Expand, Object Expand, until it gives you I'm just going to keep going. You can change it. Like I said, you can change the value of the actual stroke as well. So if I zoom in, you can see it has a fill and a stroke on the inside, and then ungroup. So now I'm going to keep going one more time. There we go. So now I can give it a fill and a stroke, or make it an outline, right? I can also ungroup it, and now it's become all of these different pieces. So I encourage you to work with the brushes and try some of the techniques that we've used before. So now, now it's become two very interesting shapes that I can then put together. as I move forward. The other option, which we talked about before, was the extrude and bevel under 3D, where you can actually create a 3D version of it. Under 3D, you can also try some other of the effect tools. Distort and transform can be fun. I'll zoom in. And then you have a shape that's described by zigzags, right? So you have lots of different tools that you can use besides just using a 1-point stroke. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to show you. So here is just a line, just a simple line. You can go ahead into effects and start with distort and transform. We can try twist, and if we change the angle, now we have some pretty popular, like some pretty proper curves, right? You can also use the distort and transform to roughen, pucker, bloat. Bloat is fun. Bloat is a little more fun with shapes. Right? So it's taking this weird shape and making it something different, right? So that's pucker and bloat. I was in isolation mode. I just hit escape. And then, you know, go through. Let's see what roughen does. So play with these tools, create some interesting shapes. Even if you just start, you're like, oh, I like my circles. Great. Start with your circle, go in that effects, distort, transform. Let's see, tweak is fun. Tweak will create some really interesting shapes. And then so that you can work with it and maybe make some further changes, you just do object expand appearances, and it'll make it one actual shape that you can then make further changes to. Right? Okay.